Once upon a time, in a quiet town nestled between the hills and the sea, there were two boys, Arjun and Ely, whose love story would span decades, transcending the boundaries of time, society, and distance. It began when they were just children, unaware that their bond would become the stuff of legends. Arjun was a dreamer. He spent most of his days by the beach, sketching the ocean and the vast sky, lost in thoughts of faraway places. He had a talent for drawing, something that set him apart from the other boys in the town. Eli, in contrast, was practical and grounded. He worked alongside his father at the town's small bookstore, organizing the shelves and taking care of the shop. The two boys met on a summer afternoon when Arjun, running to escape the rain, stumbled into the bookstore. "Sorry," Arjun said, dropping his soaked sketchbook onto the counter. Eli looked up from his work, eyes bright with curiosity. "Don't worry about it. Are you okay?" Arjun smiled sheepishly. "I'll be fine. I just wanted to get out of the rain." Eli chuckled, handing Arjun a towel. "Here, dry off. You'll catch a cold if you stay like that." That moment marked the beginning of a friendship that neither of them would ever forget. From then on, Arjun became a regular visitor at the bookstore. He spent hours talking to Ellie about art, the world beyond the town, and the dreams they both secretly harbored. Eli, who had always felt like an outsider in a small town, found solace in their conversations. He had always known something was different about him, though he couldn't quite place it. It wasn't until much later that he realized the quiet feelings he harbored for Arjun were something deeper. As the years passed, their friendship blossomed into something neither of them could deny. The quiet moments, the shared silences, and the way they understood each other without speaking, it was all too much to ignore. But they were still young, and neither of them knew how to navigate the emotions that were building between them. The turning point came one late summer evening when they were both 18. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink as the sun dipped below the horizon. They sat by the beach, the waves crashing at their feet, and Arjun was sketching as usual. Eli watched him, a sense of longing building in his chest. "Do you ever wonder if there's more to life than this place?" Arjun asked, looking up from his sketchbook. Ely nodded, though his heart ached at the thought of leaving the only place he had ever known. "I do, but I don't think I could leave. Not without you." Arjun's gaze softened. He set his sketchbook down, his fingers brushing against Eli's. There, in that quiet moment, everything changed. "I've always been afraid of leaving," Arjun confessed. "Not because of the world out there, but because of what I feel for you." Eli's heart raced, his breath catching in his throat. "You feel it too?" "I've always felt it," Arjun whispered, "but I didn't know what it was, not until now." It was then that they kissed, the kiss gentle and filled with the unspoken truth of years of hidden affection. It was a moment of relief, of release, but it was also terrifying. They were both aware of the world around them, of how society would react, of how their families might react. They both knew that this kind of love was not easy. Arjun received a scholarship to study art in a faraway city. The news was bittersweet. He had always dreamed of leaving, of expanding his horizons, but leaving Eli behind felt impossible. The night before he was to leave, they sat on the same beach where everything had begun. I have to go, Ailey, Arjun said quietly, his voice trembling. But I promise I'll come back for you. I don't know when, but I will. Eli nodded, his heart breaking. I'll be here, he whispered. And so Arjun left. Days turned to weeks, then months, and eventually years. Their letters became their lifeline, though the distance between them grew with each passing year. Arjun became a renowned artist, his paintings celebrated across the world. Eli stayed in the town, running the bookstore, and though his love for Arjun never wavered, he couldn't help but feel the weight of loneliness pressing on him. Decades passed. Both men grew older, their hair tinged with gray, but their love remained unchanged. Arjun traveled the world, and Eli remained in the town, though they visited each other whenever they could. Each time it was as if no time had passed at all. Their love, though separated by years and distance, had endured. One day, Arjun returned to the town for an art exhibit. He had painted something that had haunted him for years. A scene of two boys on a beach, their hands almost touching as the sun set behind them. The painting was titled The Longest Love. It was their love, immortalized on canvas. Eli stood before the painting at the gallery, tears streaming down his face. He had never stopped loving Arjun, never stopped waiting for him. And now, in front of this painting, he realized that their love had never been lost. After the exhibit, Arjun found Eli waiting for him outside, just like the old days. They embraced, their love finally free from the constraints of time and space. They returned to the beach, where they first shared their feelings, and this time their hands intertwined as they walked together into the sunset. They spent the rest of their lives together, proving that love, when true, could survive the longest of distances and the longest of times. And as they grew old together, they knew that their love would live on, an eternal echo in the hearts of those who believed in it.